Good morning, Quadcopter 101 here, and what I got for you today is a review of the UDI i251HW. Where do they get these numbers? But the i251HW, with the W, and as you can see my phone being attached to its controller, is a Wi-Fi FPV flyer. Unfortunately, it is a 0.3 megapixel Wi-Fi FPV flyer, low resolution camera, but it still looks rather neat. It's foldable, as you can see here. Very easy to unfold as such and refold as such. So, you know, it is more or less a pocket style quadcopter. You can fly it with the app, with its app, or with the controller. I recommend the controller though. You'll get much better performance if you use the controller, much better control. But again, you know, it's 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi, 0.3 megapixel camera. Looks like they were planning to put a SD card slot in here, but there is no SD card reader inside there to take the SD card. The on-off switch is right here. It uses a proprietary battery. Let's pull and show it to you here. But it charges through a USB port. Maybe I'm thinking of a different quadcopter. But anyways, the battery size of this is 3.7 volts times 2, so it's 7.4 volt, 350 milliamp hour. So a 7.4 volt battery, 25C. So, and you plug it in like so, and you start it with this on-off switch here. Now, its controller. This is the UDI RC controller that I've been seeing on other quadcopters. Other quadcopters that I've flown that had this controller had telemetry warning you of when you were getting too far from the quadcopter. You get a beep if the signal was getting weak at the quadcopter, along with telling you the battery power. If you were low battery, it would start beeping. Either way, if you heard a beep with a transmitter, the idea is bring the quadcopter in closer, and if it continues beeping, land the quadcopter. So that's the warnings for it. So let's go over the buttons. These buttons here are inoperative. They do nothing. This is your headless mode button. You activate headless mode by pressing this button. And it is an altitude hold quadcopter since we have a centered throttle stick. And you can do automatic takeoffs and landings by pressing this button here. So that's it. Let's fire up the quadcopter first and take it for a flight. The first thing I want to do, that I always like to do to make sure, is turn on the quadcopter, then turn on the transmitter, bind it to the quadcopter, start the motors, and then turn off the transmitter. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004. So that's a test to make sure we don't have flyaway problems. So let's go for a flight of this thing and see how it performs. Hope you enjoy this flight. Okay, this is the Flyingsee app, and I have it set to allow remote control via this controller here. Let's try the automatic takeoff. Okay, so I guess okay, actually I want to start the recording of the video also. And to do automatic takeoff, I think we need to go outboard. We got to start the motors first. How did I do that before, folks? Left, outboard, right. Oh, there we go. I just pressed the takeoff button and it did it. I'm sorry. I guess you got to hold the takeoff button a little lower. So let's go up a little higher. This is it up close. I'm giving a little bit of pitch because I got a little bit of a wind here. So let's go out and about. And let's go upwind a bit. And then let the wind drift it by me. You hear that beep? It was warning me that I was getting a little too far from the transmitter. And I've lost signal. Let's see. Okay, I got signal back again. So you got to stay relatively close, and you got to be relatively high to see yourself. I'm seeing right now because of that downward pointed angle, the camera. There I am. So, hello. Again, it's a downward pointed camera, so you're not going to be able to fly FPV very well with it. Let's go up higher. There, the beep beep again. And we'll land it right about, or fly it over there. So you really don't have much range with this. It seems to be about 20 meters, and then it starts to complain. And also, yeah, starting to land itself too. So let's fly the remainder of this flight, since we see the camera is somewhat iffy. Let's fly the remainder of this flight in higher rate. And I forgot to show you how to switch the rates. On the front button of this quadcopter, on the back, there's this button here. It says high-low. That's your rate button. So we're in high rate. We're in third rate there. And the button on the left is a trim button. There does not seem to be any flip button on this thing. So we'll fly it around like so. It is maneuverable. Bringing it around. I just wish it had a 720p camera. Okay, we lost signal there for a bit. Whenever you hear that beep beep, that means it lost signal. So its range again is only about 20 meters. Let's try the headless mode. Pushing forward, pulling back, pushing forward. That's the headless mode direction there. Pulling back. So you can use the headless mode direction to aim the camera. Let's bring it in closer. See if we can get any signal back with the Wi-Fi. Not really. There we go. Stopping, starting. So there's the Wi-Fi, or the FPV. Not FPV, what am I saying? Headless mode. Just demonstrating you can fly it in headless mode. And the heading that it's pointing has no effect. So the headless mode works. We're out of headless mode. We should be out of headless mode. And back into regular high rate flying. Boy, this would be fun if it had a flip button. Pressing these non-functioning buttons, they don't do anything. Pushing it into the sticks, they don't do anything. So there is no flip button on it, unfortunately. So we'll fly the remainder of the flight as such until our beeper beeps, which may be a long time with that battery. That's a big battery in there if it's 2 times 3.7 or 7.4 volt battery. I'm still recording. I don't know if, my signal is frozen on the screen, unfortunately. Okay, there I was. I saw me there for a second. And that, again, that downward angle on that camera is very much downward. I'd say about 30 degrees at least. Point it downward. So let's try something, folks. I'm going to land it real quick. Pressing the automatic land button. And what I'm going to do is this antenna. Let's point it downward. Let's bend it downward instead of back like it is, like so. Let's see if that improves our FPV any. It might. Take off. Just press the takeoff button. And I think I might have fixed it a bit. Yeah. Stopping and starting the video. Yeah, it's a bit better. Hello up there. There we go. So your FPV's antennas on these Wi-Fi, you might want to bend them down about a 45-degree angle. That helps improve the FPV reception. And there goes our battery. There goes our battery warning. So what we do is we bring it in and we'll land it here shortly. Will it drop from the sky if I fly it too long? Bringing it in. See, and its lights are also blinking. Let's bring it down closer. Right there, blinking lights. So we'll call quits at this point and land it in this little muddy area here, since there's less grass. And it's landing itself. I didn't even have to hit that land button, and stopping the video. And turning it off. So that's a little UDI i251HW, little foldable drone.